Good evening and welcome. I am your host, Ian Witherspoon, the envy of all women on planet Earth. I am between Taorminas. Hello, and welcome to Between Taorminas on ONTV. Thank you so much for joining us. I am joined, as always, by Aunt A-Train Taormina to my left. To my right, Mr. Salvatore, Mr. Sammy, Mr. Taormina. Boys, how you doing?
Hanging in there, doing well.
Doing well? Ready to be back for another week?
Oh, yeah.
Busy week this week, folks. We're going to start off with some Penn State talk. And then we're going to move into, after the break, a commercial hodgepodge of some sorts. Wait, did I say commercial hodgepodge?
You said commercial
Yes.
hodgepodge.
After the commercial, a hodgepodge. Sorry. And then we're going to close off today with some Lake Orion volleyball and a special message from the boys. Hey, I'm having trouble talking today. How you doing, though, all right?
Doing fine. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Let me get your thoughts on Penn State.
Wow. What can you say? What a 2 weeks it makes.
Yeah.
You've got Joe Paterno
Gone.
gone
Fired.
after, it's the first game since, isn't it
60, I believe 1966.
It's been a long time, yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable just, watching Joe coach at Penn State. He was Penn State.
Yep.
And to watch Penn State and Nebraska play without him on the without him on the sidelines. This whole scandal, you have to look at the victims are those who were sexually assaulted by Jerry Sandusky.
Right.
Those are the victims.
Right.
And Joe Paterno's trying to spread that message of pray for the victims, because ultimately they are the real victims here.
Yep.
It's not Paterno that's a victim here. It's those victims. It's the
Right.
who are sexually
Whoa.
And one could argue, though, that Paterno, as far as football, he was just kind of a figurehead. Has he really been coaching? I don't know. Sammy,
Well,
what's your
Joe
take?
Paterno, he was not initially part of the criminal investigation. Everything was around his former defensive coordinator, Jerry Sandusky, when he got arrested. And then, of course, it all started a chain of events, which led to Joe Paterno's firing.
Right.
But also, you got to look at it, Joe Paterno was Penn State.
Yeah.
He became, he is one of the greatest coaches. The 409 wins is the most in Division I history. And to see him go the way he did, his reputation has got tarnished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, ultimately, legally, Joe Paterno did, and also don't forget Mike McQuarrie as well. They did everything by the book legally. Now, morally, they didn't do,
Nearly enough.
They didn't do nearly enough at all, and Joe Paterno admitted that he didn't do enough, and that he should have did enough.
Right.
And ultimately, Jerry Sandusky, this guy should not have been around after he retired in 1999. He should not have had be allowed public access to the Penn State facilities. If he wasn't allowed that, the scandal in 2002, this never happens.
Well, what's interesting about that is this guy was young in '99, right? What was he, mid-50s? That's kind of young for a coach, right? Why
Yeah.
was he offered no other jobs? Why did he not make the move as a coordinator in the NFL?
I think he liked the area, State College. I
I'm
don't know.
thinking it's because there was more to it.
Maybe.
Because this thing, in my opinion, and only time will tell, this has been a long cover-up. And a lot of people knew, a lot more than we think know.
Sandusky's attorney went out and openly said, quote, that Sandusky thinks like a kid, that he hasn't grown up. And to me, that's a little bit disturbing because he's supposed to be a role model for kids. He has charity he formed the is it the second
mile? Yeah.
He did not have the response. He should have known better when opening up the when when sexually assaulting boys, taking them into the Penn State facilities, getting in the showers with them.
Right, and to that, Penn State should have never allowed him to be able to use their facilities in the first place to have this foundation.
No.
They knew about it, okay?
Yeah.
It's just there's blood in the water everywhere, so to speak.
Yeah.
The whole thing's dirty.
Yes.
And
Sandusky should have been gone in 1999 and should have stayed retired in 1999. He should not have had his own office.
Right.
He should not have had access to the facilities.
Right.
And ultimately, the responsibility does fall to Joe Paterno. Even though the students at Penn State were mad at originally when Paterno got fired, ultimately the victims are the victims themselves.
Right.
Joe Paterno did everything right by the book, legally, but as he said, he could have done more.
Right. Moving forward, what does this mean for Penn State football specifically?
Well, I don't know how the morals of it's going to be. I know they have 2 tough games this week. I mean, this week and next week they play at Ohio State and at Wisconsin. And I think, those are trap games. But, if you look at it with them perspective-wise, Penn State can be – I think this is something that Penn State can overcome. But for them as a football team, I don't know how it's going to impact them on recruiting. I don't even know how it's going to look at it from that and how the program itself is tarnished right now. And I don't know how. And I think you got to clean everything up.
Right.
You got to clean everything up. That includes, I think, including members of the board. That the board of regents has got to be replaced. I mean, everybody's got to be.
They had a clean house.
Yep.
I do think that the Penn State football program, it's been tarnished a little bit, but it can be rebuilt. I think that we've already seen one recruit already decommit out of Penn State.
Right.
I would say that the program is going to struggle a little bit, but they'll ultimately bounce back. The old quote, "We are Penn State."
Well, sure. But I think, like I said earlier, we just hit the tip of the iceberg with this whole thing.
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse before it gets any better.
Does that mean a lot of players will be able to a lot more will be able to decommit and transfer without penalty?
Oh, yes.
That could be a big time
for
not only the immediate team,
but it may affect the Big Ten.
But it will also affect future recruiting.
It could affect the Big Ten as well if you look at it from that perspective, because now you're looking at a doormat team maybe for years to come.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what their football program is.
We'll see if they respond. Also, they could just completely clean house and, with the coaches.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on Penn State? Where do you see this going in the immediate future?
Well, it's going to get worse before it gets any better.
Lot to learn. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Civil suits are coming against Penn State, against Joe Paterno, against Mike McQuarrie.
From the victim and their families.
Yep. Sandusky, going to be a lot worse.
Yep. When we get back, we're going to move on to something a little more lighthearted, hopefully. A little sports hodgepodge for you here on ONTV. You're watching Between Taorminas.
Did you know that you can watch ONTV on the web? How cool is that? Just surf on over to www.orionontv.org to watch your favorite on-TV show. A service of Orion Neighborhood Television.
My soul, wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away.
Drift away.
Oh, won't you take me? Take me away. All right, boys. Well, that's fun. We're back from our little karaoke break, and we're gonna start a little sports fun with you by giving props to Justin Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? AL Cy Young. Clap. How do you guys feel about that? Absolutely
Deserved it.
Yeah.
Deserved it. I think he's the best pitcher in the AL, hands down.
What was it? The last day of July? I want to
July
say July
31st over Jared Weaver.
If people thought Jared Weaver was the best pitcher, give me a break. JV deserved it.
Took a no-hitter into the 8th in that game.
Yep.
Head-to-head against Jared Weaver.
Yep, and Weaver got tossed in that game, if I remember.
Weaver got tossed. Carlos Guillen did a little Cadillacing off his home run.
Rightfully so.
Hey, you know, it's all part of sports. And Jared Weaver, see you next year, right?
Yep.
JV, congratulations.
Congrats, JV. Only 4 more months till we get to see you again pitching, which I can't wait for.
Yep.
Boys, let's move on to the NFL, the Big Daddy. Lions, terrible showing on national TV against the Bears. They got
Into a fight.
They got hammered. Their bad boy persona was kicked into high gear, I think. Kind of like this guy. When Fox put together that little bad boy thing, showing the ugly hits and whatnot, and the fight happened, Nick Fairley taking the crown of his head into Jay Cutler's head.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that, the bad boy thing?
You know, the Lions will bounce back from this.
Yeah.
I mean, the bad boy thing is just something that the media said.
Right.
I mean, it does personify Detroit a little bit, but it's just something that the media said. And I think the Lions should simply just ignore what the media says.
Play
Just
Lions
focus
football.
on next week against Carolina. They're at home. Try to fix their home game.
Yeah.
Try to fix the home game losing streak.
Right.
And
I like it, the bad boy persona. You know what I mean? I mean, like, even though the way the Lions lost was disappointing, but I think if there's a game they need to bounce back is against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers.
The bad boy thing, it's not bad as long as they're winning, right?
Right.
So how do you foresee the rest of the season going? What's a final record for the Lions?
I'm still gonna say 12 and 4.
12-4.
Yep.
You have them losing one more game.
Yep.
You realize they played Green Bay twice
Yep.
and the Saints once,
Yep.
and Oakland and San
Yep.
Diego.
Yep.
10-6.
10-6. Which game do you see them losing?
Green Bay at Lambeau in January.
Last game of the year.
Last game of the year.
So you see them going to New Orleans.
And winning there, yes, because New Orleans got a really bad defense.
Their offense, though.
I know their offense is good, but
Top
I think
of the league.
Lions can match it.
You think you can match it?
Yeah.
All right. You know, Superdome, big boy school down there.
Yep.
Who do you have them losing to? 3 more losses, right?
I've got them losing at Lambeau to Green Bay. New Orleans will be tough for them.
Yeah.
But I also got them, you know, you got one of those games where the Lions are supposed to win like they were against the Bears, and they could lose one of those games.
Well, they got Minnesota, Carolina, out to Oakland, San Diego comes in, Green Bay twice, New Orleans.
Yep.
Definitely a harder second half than the first half.
Yes, I would agree.
So hopefully this weekend they can take care of
Yes.
business against, you know, Cam Newton. And
Yep, in Carolina.
the Panthers aren't very good. All right, so that's Lions. How about the NBA lockout? Who knows what's going on there?
He called it a nuclear winter. David Stern called it a nuclear winter. So basically, what you're saying is there ain't going to be an NBA season. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
You
Do you
know,
concur?
if the NBA decides to have a season, I mean, they just both need to stop bickering and just go to the negotiating table and just, work up a deal or something. I'd like to see an NBA season, but at this point, the NBA has lost so much respect.
Yeah.
And they kind of deserve not to have a season.
And the fact of the matter is there are some teams, basketball is kind of a niche sport like hockey, There shouldn't be hockey teams in Dallas.
I disagree.
There should be hockey teams in Miami. There are certain cities, it's the same with the NBA, there should not be teams in certain cities. Minnesota, they don't care about the Timberwolves there. You know what I mean? And so
I don't know if the people of Minneapolis will agree.
I know, but the team is terrible. People aren't showing up for their games. I just think they've spread themselves too thin.
Yes.
They're not making money the way they could be. Focus on your Miamis, your LAs, your New Yorks, your Detroits, your Bostons, Chicago, exactly. And another thing, David Stern is the highest paid commissioner in professional sports.
terrible.
It just seems.
I
it
thought
just
Gary
seems,
Bettman was bad. David Stern is worse.
Worse.
It just seems like a bad business model.
Yes.
You know.
Really bad.
So you guys.
It's all about money. It's overpaid. Everyone's getting overpaid. Stern, the players, the owners. I mean,
The players
it's
are
all
getting
about money.
overpaid.
It's already sickening to me.
Did you know also the average player in the NBA makes more than the average player in any other sport? Football, baseball, and hockey.
Yep. Terrible.
So, that being said, the owners don't seem too interested in a season right now anyways.
Nope. I mean, that's what I say. NBA season should just
So you both
No
think it's
season.
not going to happen this year?
No.
no.
Well, what's that do for NBA Live, the video games and stuff?
They can
Nothing.
keep that.
Keep
just-
that. Nothing.
All right. Let's talk about a sport that is doing well, at least around us. I don't know about how they're doing in Dallas, but that is the NHL. Thoughts from a week ago?
Disappointed with my
Why?
Stars.
Because the Red Wings turned things around, or
No, because it was this lost went down the Ford investment against Pittsburgh in that loss, and then like they played with virtually 5 defensemen in that game. But
they were up by how many in that game?
They were up. Dallas was up 1-0. You know,
1-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do. You got to give Detroit was a better team that night. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's too bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Red Wings really turned it around a little bit, didn't they? Since we were
Yeah.
sitting here a week ago.
yeah.
Yes?
Well, they were on a winning streak at the time that the Wings and the Abs were playing. So
Right.
I mean, and obviously they got a good quality win against a very good club in the Abs.
What was the score? 5-2. Thanks, Ann.
Screw Johan Franzen. Screw him.
Franzen likes to show
Screw
up.
him!
Hey now. Johan Franzen is not getting his vote for Player of the Year. Okay. Any other thoughts about the
He's been an
NHL?
Abs killer.
I think the Stars will come back and bounce back.
All right, no one cares. You got any thoughts about the NHL?
No.
Okay. Wilson Ramos was kidnapped, was found, returned.
Was rescued.
In Venezuela, right? Any words on that?
I think it's a great story that Wilson Ramos was rescued. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, we could have had a loss of life here. Loss of a good player. But I'm just really happy that he's safe and sound. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
Venezuela.
Well, you got kidnapping is common in Venezuela, in Colombia. Typically, it's for ransom.
Right.
They will look at a player. They will look at someone, but it's never happened to a player. It's always happened to a player's family.
Right.
It's never. So this was unique because this was the first incident where it happened to a player.
Yep.
And you got to give credit to Hugo Chavez in Venezuela for. I'm not sounding anti-American here.
Right. But in this situation.
In this situation, yes, because the Venezuelan authorities went right to work. They searched the mountains, and they were able to find Wilson Ramos alive.
Yep.
And all he did was just think about a lot what was going on. And with these kidnappings, as I said, it's all about money.
Yep.
And they weren't going to kill him for money.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about money in South America. You know what I mean? Because, it's basically
It's a little different.
what's going on. Yeah,
A little
it's
different
bit
down
different.
there.
Yes, it is.
All right, one final thing I'd like to bring up before we go to the next break in this little sports fun fiesta here. Michigan State football. Back-to-back, they're going to be playing.
I think they're gonna go to the Big Ten championship game. I like their schedule. They got Indiana.
And Northwestern.
Northwestern's gonna be a tricky game, but I think they can win that.
Yep.
But but we'll just but I think Michigan State's in really good shape. And of course, weirdly enough, Spartan fans have to be Wolverine fans this week because
Which is
Michigan
very,
plays
very
Nebraska.
rare.
And if Michigan beats Nebraska, Michigan State is well on the way to the Big Ten championship game.
Do you think Michigan can beat Nebraska?
Yes, they're yes. Nebraska's black shirt defense is not the same defense as people think.
Nebraska has to go to Ann Arbor as
It's
well.
two tough
but
road games in a row
It's
for
going to
them.
be tough, yes. But I can see Michigan getting the job done. But I can also see Nebraska going into Ann Arbor
Yeah.
and beating Michigan as well.
Be a bit of a
because
statement their first year in the Big
just like
Ten.
they did it with Penn State. I mean, there weren't many people that are expecting Nebraska to beat Penn State despite the distractions
Right.
that was there.
Any final thoughts on anything we covered or anything we missed out on?
Obviously, college basketball started.
Yep.
Michigan State, they're having a tough schedule with North Carolina and Duke. Oakland.
Talk to me
with
in January with
Alabama
Michigan State.
With Oakland, with Alabama and Arkansas.
Yep.
Michigan obviously is breezing through their easy non-conference schedule right now.
Yep. Sam, any final thoughts?
Well, like, just expect, in my opinion, Stars will bounce back in the Western Conference race. I think.
All right. Anyways, we'll go to the break here. We don't want to hear anything to do about the Dallas Stars.
Even.
You're watching Between Taorminas.
Can ONTV really change the way you see Orion? Can a community hold a talent show to raise mental health awareness?
ONTV, a part of Orion's history since 1986.
Well, here we are to the close of this episode, and we move on to a topic that, as I mentioned last week, I have no clue what's going on, and that is LOHS female volleyball. Boys, fill us in.
They're in the state quarterfinals. They went and shocked Birmingham Marion in 4 games. Birmingham Marion was ranked 3rd in the state. Lake Orion was 7th in the state, at the time, and then they beat Troy. And weirdly enough, they went down the state rankings because of this. I mean, like, why would you go down in the? I don't understand these pollsters, but still.
Going down for winning?
Yeah.
That seems a bit backwards.
That's a bit backwards. It's a bit odd, but I look at it from that perspective. They're they're on a roll right now. You know what I mean? And they're together. They're on the same page. And if that happens, and if good teams happen, then maybe state championship in the future.
Last week or a couple of weeks ago, I criticized the fans of Lake Orion
After the football game.
after the football season.
Walled Lake Central.
Yep. I give the fans full credit for coming out to the volleyball game, both games.
Look in the camera and say you're sorry.
I'm
Say
still
you're
not sorry.
Oh,
I am
all right.
not sorry for what I said during football season.
All right, two
But-
separate issues. You're proud of the volleyball fans.
But I am happy that they did come out and show up for the volleyball game.
Are you proud of me as a volleyball fan?
You said you don't know anything about volleyball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, what reason are you even in the topic for?
all right.
Anyway.
I'm going to go get a beer then at the bar. You guys take care of it.
Anyway, if you look at it, on the Dragons' run, if they pull up and win against Macomb, Dakota, then there's one team I'm worried about in their path because they haven't
Troy?
seen them, and that's
No.
Plymouth Canton.
Clarkston? Oh,
That's
Plymouth
Plymouth Canton because they haven't seen them all year. Otherwise, everybody else who's still in the tournament, they have seen and they have played and they have beat.
So when's their next game?
The next game is on is actually Tuesday night, and then they play
Tuesday
Macomb,
night
Dakota.
is in after this weekend?
Yep, after this weekend, they play Macomb, and then they'll play, and then
Hopefully
if they win
by the
tonight,
next
they'll
time-
play Thursday.
Hopefully by the next time we have our show, we will be talking about Lake Orion Volleyball State Champions.
Hopefully.
Okay. All right. Any final words on volleyball?
No.
Go Dragons, huh?
Yeah.
Go Mark Howie.
Bob Howe.
Bob Howie.
Bob Howie, this one's for you. All right, listen, now we got a question. Comes from Rick in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Rick?
Yeah, Rick.
There's a guy named Rick?
There are probably multiple men named
I
Rick.
thought there was guys named Fred and Julia Roberts and Pam.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
You learn something new every day, don't you? Rick wants to know, what is your favorite sports talk show, radio or television, and why? And we'll start with Sammy.
Well, I like to listen to Pat Caputo on the radio usually.
You're a big Caputo fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I took a class with him.
How was he as a teacher?
He's a great man.
Yeah?
Very great man.
Good.
I mean,
Maybe he's watching. He lives in Lake Orion.
Yes, he does.
Hi,
I mean,
Pat.
there may be times that maybe one of these days I might call him up and probably bash him on a couple things.
It'll show how much you love him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Show your appreciation?
Yep.
Okay.
Talk shows.
TV or radio?
Is it okay if we can say this show?
Yes, you can.
Because I enjoy doing this show.
I enjoy doing it as well. And next to
Let's
this
just say
show,
this show.
next to this show, you got to give it up. What about Mike Valeni on 97.1?
Oh, he's a good guy. He announces West Bloomfield games. I know that for football.
Mike Valeni?
Mike Valeni
Mike
is a
Valeni.
terrible announcer, I might add.
He does not announce games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
No.
Yeah, he does.
does.
If he went to a Lake Orion game at West Bloomfield,
No.
so he haven't went to West Bloomfield, so you don't know exactly what we're talking about.
No.
I can't see Mike Valeni doing that. Are you sure?
He does, yes.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Well, anyways, so your favorite. What about after Between Taorminas? You got any other shows you like?
I haven't watched as many talk shows lately. I would have said Stoney and Wojo,
They've been off for a while.
but they've been off for a while, yeah.
Okay. All right. And I understand you boys have a special message that you'd like to say. A couple words to the Lake Orion community.
Yeah, go for it.
Anthony, go ahead.
Recently in Lake Orion, there's been a string of suicides that have occurred. In the last 4 years, as the old saying, one suicide is bad enough. Lake Orion, we need to stand united together, and we need to encourage people who are struggling with with problems to go out and let people know. Don't keep it inside. Tell someone. You've got people who care there, and we see it all the time. I mean, go to your mom, go to your dad, go to your friends, even come to myself or Sammy or Ian or Pat or even other friends. And just we need to stick together and help in these situations. I mean, ultimately with suicide, you know, you don't use a permanent solution to solve a temporary problem.
Yep.
And I encourage a lot of you guys to, guys and girls, to help out people who are struggling with depression or who have been really upset or going through a lot of stress. Life happens, and everything happens, but suicide should not be the answer for a problem.
All right.
Well, I think if you look at it, you got so much to live in life. You know, I mean, like, you can't. Everybody's got problems. You know, when it comes to money, when it comes to school, when it comes to all that.
Anything.
But you can't be down on it. You gotta find the passion and the courage to keep your spirits high. You know, the moment you get to a depressional state, you know, bad things happen.
Everyone goes through depression.
Everybody goes through it, but
it's how you respond.
It's how you respond.
Yep.
You can't, you know, you gotta take life as it is. Honestly, you gotta take it. You know what I mean? You only got one life. You know, use it wisely.
Yep. And you know, people may think there aren't people listening or they have no friends, but really there are people.
There are people listening, and Lake Orion is a tight-knit community.
Yep.
I mean, like, and it's shown. You know, I mean, like, I advise each and every single one of you who is listening to this show, you know, if you're down and you need help, get a friend, talk to your parents, talk to your brother or sister.
Talk to me or you.
Talk to everybody here. You know, like, you know, we are willing to help you get through your problems. You know, you just don't have to take the easy way out. You know, that's not an option. That is never an option.
Very good, gentlemen. Very good. Any final thoughts on anything we covered today, or anything you'd like to add until we meet again?
Well, one thing, I wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that you're doing well. Lake Orion, stay strong.
Sam?
I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving to everybody here. You know, also same thing as Anthony. You know, Lake Orion, stay strong. God bless each and every single one of your hearts.
And we will not be here on Black Friday following Thanksgiving, so tune in 2 weeks for Between Taorminas on ONTV.